Gavin here, Death Toll Racing. This episode, we're going to just shave the bumper for the tire clearance, the front bumper, and that's all we're going to do. That's how we're going to do the videos from now on. We're going to do one task, so there'll be more videos, more episodes, but they're going to be single tasked. So you can still watch progression of this car, but they're going to be a shorter video, so hopefully I can get my view duration up a little bit. The view duration is pretty bad on all these videos, so obviously people aren't liking that they're so long. So anyway, so stay tuned, check it out. It's a pretty good episode. All right, so we're going to start by cutting the bumper this week. So that's our first task. I will end up taking the wheel off, but I was kind of using it as a guide, imagining where it would come up to and everything, and basically I just made sure I was forward to the front of the tire there. With my mark, so I know that's the lowest part. I don't know if that would ever actually make it up that far, but just so it kind of looks right, that's what we're going to do. So I made a mark there. Then I transfer everything I do over here. I transfer once I got it. I did it a few times. I kept wiping it off with alcohol. But every time I made a mark or get my line, I would transfer it to the other side, and I was just using this guy again, and I would just find a point. And then I would adjust it, and then I would just go straight over to the other side, make that exact same mark. Then I'd find another place, like in this situation, my point here, I just got it from the center of that, so I just would hold that on there. What I did is, so that I was the same, I stayed right in the middle of the crease, and I just made a mark there. And I went over to the other side and did that. Then I knew that I was going to bring this radius down, and right where it started is where I was going to start, so I marked that. And then you can double check it in quite a few spots. Even if you're going at an angle, hold it like back there to there. If maybe you measured down, made a mark, and then made a cross or something. If you're questioning how straight you got your drawing, just use that. It works good. So that's what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to cut that off. I got it marked on the other side too. I'm going to cut it off, and then after that we're going to put a flat bar on, and we'll take profiles and stuff, and we'll do that here in just a minute. I'm going to take my wheel off, and then I'll turn you back on, and we'll start cutting it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to use a cut-off wheel. I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to hold this so that the blade is square with the car. So that all my cuts end up that way. I'm going to go ahead and just cut it all the way off this way, and then we'll come back and cut that radius. And then when I get up to here, I'm going to try to cut straight through without hitting the fender there. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'll work my way up. I'm going to eyeball so that I get started straight, so I don't have to try to turn with the cutoff wheel. Okay, so that was really easy. I noticed as I'm cutting that this line now actually goes kind of at a different angle, so it's going to end up being kind of a radius right here. We'll clean everything up and make everything smooth and transition once we're done cutting it. But as I look up, it looks straight this way, but when you're looking up, this actually starts turning back. So I'm going to start another cut this way, and we'll just meet in the middle there. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to radius this off. I didn't have the camera on, but I cut the corner off on my radius, just square, and now I'm going to round it off with a flapper wheel. I'm going to do it like this. Okay, now that it's round, now we need to make a template of it, and we'll do that by holding a cardstock up there. I had to tape two together so it was long enough, and I already did this. except I forgot to radius the bottom, so I'm going to modify the bottom there If you're having trouble holding it, you can tape it, or have someone else hold it for you. Okay, so I had to modify my bottom a little bit. I did it before I cut it off, and that was the shape. I held it back on there, and I had to add this. So you have to go to the inside of your black, since I had to squeeze it in there because I was actually wrapping this around. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to redraw this line from there to this point now. And then I'll cut it out along there, and that'll be okay. And then when we put it on there, we're actually going to have to bend that around the bottom, which won't be hard. And it should match up pretty good, at least good enough to weld it. Okay, now we'll flapper it. Okay, so we got the top to where it fits pretty good. So it goes like that. And so now we have to remember that the angle slightly changed here. So now we have to put a bend in it right there. Not a lot. We can just put it in a vise and just tap it over, but we need to go about an inch or so in, basically starting at that line. And I think we want to try to go square with this line to it. So I'll just put that in the vise, and then we'll just bend this out a little bit. Let's give that a shot and we'll see. Well, that was pretty good. I was trying to go conservative, and if anything, I bent it too much. It actually looks really good. I don't know if we can change that much. So now I'm hitting right here, like I didn't cut enough out right there, so I'm gonna grind just this spot. It looks like it's about the only spot, so I got my flapper right here. When you're doing stuff like this, don't get in a rush. Because a lot of this stuff you could have just welded it and beat it around or whatever, but if you can get it to actually fit right, it's way better. So I have a gap here, but it's actually because the bumper for some reason comes out right there, like it had a little bit of a dent or something, so we'll actually squeeze that in. And then the bottom hangs down, but we're going to roll that back as we go. We'll go ahead and get the welder turned on, and we'll put that on there, but first we're going to do, I don't want to burn the paint too bad, so we're going to just do foil again. We'll stick it in there, make it a little tighter. So I'm actually going to do that on purpose to make the sparks deflect down so they don't bounce up on the hood. That should be good. Again, we're not super worried about paint, but right now, but I don't want to make more work for us just fixing a spot where we burn the paint. So that should be good. Doing tacking like that, I was just have your wire out and actually don't bend it, but use it as a feeler. Get it in there and see how I'm propping my hand up with a pinky. with my pinky, so you're not actually pushing on the part. You got it in the middle, and then when you tack it, you're nice and centered. Okay, so there's that. That welded, like I say, see the chrome holds up to welding like that really well. It didn't really hurt it. So if you were leaving this, I would have just done that in a brazing wire. The welds don't look as nice, but when you polish them off, if you use a Scotch pad and stuff, and then you kind of blend it back, if you're going for that rat roddy look, it does work really well. So now we're going to bend that back, and then we'll weld it. That should, and this is where you do want to hit on the corner so that it bends at a radius on the way back, and we may have to trim that a little bit as we go. So I'm going to do that just with a little light hammer. We did really good on our paper template. Went a little too far. That looks really nice. So now I just got to put a weld there, and we're done. We can clean it up and move on. Don't worry about it hanging down or anything. We'll grind it. So. I know our instinct is just start grinding the weld, but you don't want to. You want to go this way. Okay, so now I'm going to go this way just to make sure none of it's hanging off coming towards me. There's not much there, but I'm just going to go through it. I can see that there's nothing there. Okay, so now we have that side done, that side done. It looks really cool with the layers of chrome, you know, the copper and the chrome, and so I don't know if you can see that in camera, but it looks pretty cool. So now we're going to round it. So before I just start rounding it, I'm going to grind it square so it's an even 45-degree angle on there, the same width the whole way, and then we'll just go back through and round it off. So it's not going to take much. It goes really, really quick. Okay, so now we have that edge growth, and I have a couple of spots that are kind of low, but if we were chroming this, we'd want to actually go through with a welder and fill those in. They're very minor. You won't see them under what we're doing with the bumper, so I'm okay with it. And they are going to go away a little bit here on our next step too. So I got that so it's even all the way around. The width, the grind, basically you're going for the same width all the way down. We weren't rounding it right there. We were just making it square. Now we're going to go through and round it. I'm probably going to round it up to it this way, and then I'll come back and round it that way. Okay, so I got that side done. Now we'll do the inside. Okay, so that looks really nice. It's a nice even round. But we still have lines, and we wouldn't notice that when we rhino line it, but we're gonna go ahead and polish those off too. So now I'm gonna go to my little 90-degree die grinder with a Scotch pad on it. Now we'll just do the same thing. We're just gonna blend everything together. There we go. So now even if we were chroming that, it would actually look really good. But if we were chroming it, we would have to go through and probably just do a TIG welder. And there's a little spot there. I don't know if you can see it. Really small. It's not gonna show up in what we're doing. So I'm gonna leave it. It's not worth dragging my TIG welder out. You could take a MIG welder and just zap it there and then grind it, and you do the same process to match your radius. You'd grind this way, grind it, you know, and bevel it this way, and then bevel it this way, and then just go through and round the whole thing off. And that's how you get a nice clean radius the whole way. Even when you feel this, it feels real nice. So other than I can still feel this bump in the sheet metal that I pulled up. That's still there. But we matched it anyway, and it's nice and radius. No one will see it. So that's that. If you wanted to, you could go through and weld the inside. I'm not going to do that. I don't see it's necessary. There's actually scratches in the bumper that we didn't put there. So I don't see it being necessary for us to do that. And then this edge is round. I would have rounded this normally beforehand, but it was actually the edge of the plate, so it's already round. A really nice round, actually. So everything looks real nice. That's gonna just look super slick in there once this thing's all painted. Coil out. So there it is. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. So we stayed pretty short. We're going to be well under 20 minutes. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm really happy about how that turned out. It turned out really good. I got both sides done. It took a little less than 4 hours to do them all. There was that little hole that I was talking about earlier. I probably will fix that. It's kind of stressing me out. I can't handle it. You can't hardly see it in person, but you can see it on camera. So I'll probably end up fixing that, but that won't take more than just a couple minutes. So stay safe out there. The budget sheet didn't change, but the hours on it did. And then later this week, we're doing the coilover mounts for the rear. So we're going to change the whole cross member out in the back and get that swapped out, and that'll go good. I've already started on it. I have a lot of it done already, and it's all filmed. I just have to edit it. So anyway, subscribe to the channel and stuff, and share it. Please share it. I got to get some views going on these things. The views are pretty sad, so I'm hoping shortening these episodes up is going to help. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we will see you on Thursday.